Yo, what's up, yo? It's your boy the Podcaster itself. Welcome back to the channel, guys, and welcome to another quick guide video of the Elden Ring itself. Today, I'm gonna showcase you something very unique, something extremely potent, something that you can make in your very first few hours of playing the Elden Ring itself. A build that will help you and will carry you in the beginning aspects and the mid-tier aspect of the Elden Ring. So we'll give you a little bit more breathing area to understand the game, understand the lore, and of course fall in love with this franchise and this universe that is the Elden Ring and the Souls-based game itself. So what did we manage to do? So right now we are only 3 hours and 3 hours and a bit into the game itself. We managed to get ourselves all the way to level 61, and we are playing of course on the Wretch class. And in these 3 hours that we managed to play, we managed to get ourselves a magical Uchi Katana plus 12. And the good thing, I can apply and I increase every single weapon that I will have at my disposal all the way to plus 12 itself. I have the Serpent Bow at my disposal, plus 3. The good thing about the Serpent Bow, why I use it, is always nice to have an additional form of DPS output outside of magic. You never know, I'm running out of magic, so I can do damage with another type of a weapon. And of course for me is of course the Serpent Bow. The good thing about the Serpent Bow is that every single arrow that I use on the Serpent Bow, it applies a dots, a poison dots, a very potent damage over time ability, and I can apply it to an enemy and a boss itself. I can melt them extremely fast. Put that aside, I'm also using very early on the Meteor Staff, a very potent staff that has an S scaling and into intelligence and improve the gravity sorcery itself. Besides that, I also have the Staff of Loss itself and boost invisible sorcery, and is a very potent staff you can also get very early on into the game itself. I also have the Moonveil Katana itself I'm using, and my offhand is give me an opportunity to use a little bit dual wielding. I can change my playstyles a little bit differently and give me a little more like the Dex Magic playstyles, a Spellcaster playstyle. I'm using also the Lucinda Glinson staff. That's a very potent endgame staff. It has the most powerful damage output coming from magic itself. But it requires for you to of course have 52 points into intelligence. So at least it gives you a roadmap to level up itself, and always you have it very early on into the game itself. A very powerful sorcery staff. Beside that, I also have different form of armor I can wield and have. I have the Carrion Knight armor sets if I want to have a certain form of armor around me. I really don't like it very much because I'm a Wretch class. I like to go all full naked like the goddess made me. I have different form of talisman. I'm using the Blue Dancer Charm talisman, a very potent talisman that is the most crucial talisman if you're playing on a Wretch class, because we have low equipment loads, and of course this boosts our attack power because we have such a low equipment on us. We're also using the Radical Soul Seal, decreases our attribute points by 5 points, things like that. I can wield the Moonveil Katana very early on and very potently as well. And I also have the Axe Talisman, the Great Shield Talisman, and a Sacred Scorpion Talisman, and the same thing I also have the Assassin Crimson Dagger. So I can have different form of diversity early on to the game in which way I want to play. Beside that, also I can apply different form of greases, fire grease or magic grease, blood grease, and also dragon grease. The good thing about this playthrough, I can craft all of this stuff as well. I can craft a silver pickle, I can increase my item discovery if I want to farm something very unique. I can craft the golden pickle to increase my rune capacity every single time I kill an enemy. I can craft different form of fire pots, sleeping pots, poison pots, holy pots, just name it. I have all at my disposal to buff myself or debuff any form of enemy that I come counter towards to. If I don't have any arrows as well, I can use some darts. I can craft some darts as well. And to put the cherry on the cake, I have 3 different form of summonings I can use for different form of circumstances that this game has to offer. And all of this I've done literally in only 3 hours into the game itself. Guys, I think I literally broke the game. So let me showcase you how I did it. First and foremost, mark yourself towards the gateside ruins. In the gateside ruins, you're going to find 3 specific items. One of them is going to be a thuis, and the thuis is going to find itself in the site of grace and the entrance of the gateside ruins itself. By going there, activating it, you will find a cinematic cutscene, you deplete it, and eventually you'll get your thuis itself, your mount. Like this, you can traverse towards the Limgrave much easier now. The second thing you're going to find is the map of the area. The map of the area you will always going to find within Limgrave and its Elden Ring itself, depicted on the map itself through these pillars exactly right here. You take it and you're going to find yourself the map of the area. The last thing you're going to need to go on the ground of the gateside ruins, and there you're going to find a whetstone. This whetstone allows us to apply ashes of wars into our weapons. We're going to need it in our journey moving forward. After you manage to achieve your very first milestone, the first thing you need to do is go back to the Church of Elden. In the Church of Elden, you're going to get yourself another cinematic cutscenes, and there you're going to meet the beautiful Wretch Rani itself. By depleting the Wretch Rani's dialogue, you're going to get yourself your very first summoning. After you did that, we're going to go to the merchants that find themselves within the Church of Elden. There we're going to introduce ourselves and we're going to buy ourselves a crafting kit. And this crafting kit is going to be extremely useful and extremely important in the entire playthrough of the Elden Ring itself. Next up, we need to march back to the Stormgate Castle. From the Stormgate Castle, we're going to march westwards through the gates, up the hill. On the top of the hill, we're going to find ourselves our very first Earth Seed. This Earth Seed we're going to need to increase our flask capacity within the game itself. From this point, we're going to march westwards. We keep marching westwards until we're going to reach this graveyard guarded by jellyfishes. Within this graveyard guarded by jellyfishes, you're going to find a corpse. Within this corpse, you're going to find the ashes of war of the soldiers of Limgrave itself. We go back from the same Earth Seed. We're going to march northward until we reach this shack here. We're going to find this lady in distress. We're going to deplete her dialogue completely, and she's going to give us another ashes of war and jellyfish. They're going to be very important in your side quest moving forward. Activate the site of grace within this area itself, so you have another checkpoint. From this point, we're going to move more northeastwards. We're going to keep marching eastwards until we reach, of course, this shack here, the War Master Shack. In this shack, we're going to find Bernard, another NPC in the game itself that sells us different forms of ashes of war. If you want, you can kill Bernard for his armor, but it's something I do not recommend you to do, because that's going to ruin your side quest within this game itself to get yourself even more unique armor sets later on into the game. Next on our target list is going to be the Death Calm Catacombs. It's depicted exactly right here on the map showcased for you. The Death Calm Catacombs, inside here you're going to find 2 specific things. You're going to find yourself the Assassin's Dagger Talisman after you defeat the boss of the area itself, and you're going to find yourself the Uchi Katana in this catacomb. To get the Uchi Katana, just follow the path that I'm showcasing right now. The Uchi Katana is one of the most potent weapons you're going to find early on into the game that will bring you all the way to endgame. Doesn't matter for which type of a build, text build, and for our playthrough and magic build. After that, it requires from us to come back towards the Storm Gates. From the Stormgate Castle next to the Stormgate Ruins, you're going to find yourself another site of grace. From this site of grace, it's going to require from us to march northeastwards from this location. And there you're going to find another military bandit camp. In that bandit camp, you're going to find a cooking book. And this cooking book is allow us to craft fire grease as much as we want to. From the same side of grace, we're gonna march more southeastwards until we reach a bridge. In front of the bridge, we're gonna find this beetle here. By destroying this beetle, we're gonna get the Ashes of War determination. It depends where you are and towards the day or night, you're gonna find another cavalier guarding this bridge. Just run across the bridge, come across this ledge, climb the top of it, this little mountain steep. You're gonna find 3 NPCs, enemies, a garden, and some form of an item. And this item we need because that's gonna be the golden pickle. Later on, I'm gonna showcase you how you can craft as a golden pickle in a form of abundancy. By continuing marching northwards, we're not only gonna find another site of grace, but also gonna find this mountain overcapping stone structure of pillar, whatever you may call it. But galloping across it, you're gonna find this cemetery here. In this cemetery, you're only gonna find some runes laying out there for you. I'm also gonna find another cooking book that will allow you to have sleeping pots. Now you can craft yourself sleeping pots and abundancy. Afterwards, you keep galloping more northwards until you find yourself the third church of Marika, exactly right here on the map when I'm showcasing you. In this third church of Marika, you're not only gonna find the site of grace, grace tears, and you're gonna find something very unique. It comes out the flask of wandering physics. This flask of wandering physics allow you to do different form of mixture components, a form of alchemy that will help you in your DPS boosting or even survivability when it comes to the gameplay. From this side of grace, you're gonna march again back more southward, northwards towards Limgrave wooden forest itself. By following the path I'm showcasing you right now, you're gonna reach another pillar where you're gonna find a map of this area itself, another cookbook, and you're gonna find yourself another minor earth tree with a cracked tier on top of it. From the same area, you keep marching southward, you're gonna find yourself a ruins, and in the distance you're gonna hear a howling wolf. Within this ruin itself, you're gonna find yourself very close by a sleeping bear. You crawl towards the base, find yourself in the hidden area with a door you can activate, get in towards this door. You're gonna find yourself another talisman, the axe talisman itself. For our next part, it's required from us to go even more southward from Limgrave. Exactly right here I'm showcasing on the map itself. You're gonna find Fourth Height. In Fourth Height, you're gonna find a few unique items. First of all, you're gonna find this golden seed, another one. And this Fourth Height itself, you're also gonna find a cooking book that allows you to craft bleed arrows and bleed affinity buffs onto your weapons. And on top of the Fourth Height, you're gonna find yourself a knight. If you defeat this knight, you're gonna be able to get yourself a very potent Ashes of War that does bleed damage towards your enemy itself. On top of the tower of the Fourth Heights, you're gonna find yourself a chest, and this chest is what we need. We're gonna need the first unique item, the Dictus Medallion. We're gonna need this medallion to proceed further on into our build showcase. So let's start leveling up now. I guess get ourselves unique weapons, spells, and sorcery at the same time. So first thing, you need to go to the third church of America, and this gap broken of the walls of the third church, you're gonna find yourself within the ravine itself, this portal. Taking this portal will bring you to the northern part of Caelid itself. From the Bestial Sanctuary, you march your way southwards until you reach the very first earth tree. To this earth tree to increase your flask capacity. You keep marching southwards. In the distance, you're gonna find yourself a bridge. On top of that bridge, a dragon gonna be guarding it. We're just gonna pass the dragon, and once we pass the dragon, the very first crossover from the minor earth tree, we're gonna take a left side. You're gonna see yourself some cemeteries. We're gonna take all the runes within the cemetery itself. You're gonna see yourself an airstream. We're gonna jump in towards the airstream to reduce our drop. From this air tree, we're gonna take it from this stream. We're gonna take it upwards towards the magic tower itself. Within this magic tower, we will land on the rooftop. We're gonna dismount ourselves, go to the balcony, enter the balcony windows, and march yourself upwards. And at the top of the magic tower, you're gonna find yourself another medallion, a memory stone to increase our spell capacity. From that aspect, we're just gonna go out from the here and go back to the very first side of grace. We will find, of course, in this area, and then here we're gonna meet Liurnia for the second time. She's gonna invite us to go towards the grand table hold. After you deplete Liurnia's dialogue, we are going to change our time skids to the night. When we are on the night cavalry are going to spawn themselves. The very first one is going to be across the bridge where we are sitting right now in the side of grace. The The trick of this farming method is to make sure that the Knight Cavalier follow us by galloping himself. He's going to make sure he's going to misstep himself and fall off the ledge. By doing so, he's going to give us not only the Bloodhound Step and very potent Ashes of War in form of a quick step we're going to have, and going to give us 45,000 runes. These runes we're going to use to not only to make sure we can wield our Uchigatana properly, and at the same time, so we're going to increase our vigor and our dexterity. So we have more survivability, and we're going to have our Uchigatana wielding capacity even better. Next, we're going to take the stream back up, follow towards the cemetery. You're going to find us this minor earth tree guarded by the purified avatar. Behind the earth tree, you're going to find another stream. We're going to take this stream, then again upwards. You're going to arrive to Fourth Wrath. I found a Fourth Wrath. We're going to find a of course a Side of Grace. You activate the Side of Grace, and we're going to enter Fourth Wrath itself. We're going to pass all the enemies, go ourselves on top of the stairs. On top of the stairs, you're going to find another chests, and there you're going to find the second part of the Dictus Medallion. Keep following the path that I'm showcasing you. Do not take the very first hole, but you're going to take the second hole that we're going to find. You enter there, you're going to find yourself a few killing rats. We're going to take the rune that is close by towards us, do a detour. Then afterwards we're gonna jump across the ledge itself to the opposite side where we are right now. From there we're gonna find 2 rats and 1 small one with 1 big one. We're gonna try to evade them as much as we can. Enter the hole downstairs, take the very first left and open a chest, and then we're gonna find a Radigan Sword Seal. A very potent chest, a very potent talisman that increases our attribute point by 5 points. At this point you may die, it doesn't matter. If you do not die, just go out, back to the Side of Grace, and we're gonna continue that from that point. Now with the Uchigatana level up, now we have the Radigan Sword Seals. If you don't have enough attribute points, just equip the Radigan Sword Seals. You have enough attribute points to equip the Uchigatana. We're gonna go to the dragon in front of us. We're gonna stand exactly right here. I'm showcasing you. We're gonna do bleed damage until the dragon is dead. But just before the dragon dies, we're gonna activate our golden pickle to increase our rune capacity, and then we're gonna gallop as fast as possible to the Side of Grace, rest on the Side of Grace, and respawn the dragon again. And we can do this as many times as we want, so long we are extremely fast and going back towards the Side of Grace. Now you receive a chunky 65,000 runes from this dragon itself. We'll be coming back here later and following up even more. We're gonna pass these dragons, and now has a little miniature dragons. We're gonna go westwards, and we're gonna reach another pillar where we're gonna find not only the Side of Grace of this zone, and of course as well we are going to find a map of this area, the northern part of Caelid itself. Our next goal is to reach the Abandoned Cave. The Abandoned Cave can reach us by following the same Side of Grace that we've done before. Follow westward first, then southwards, and to reach this Side of Grace showcased exactly right here on the map itself. From this Side of Grace right now we're gonna go eastwards. You're gonna find yourself a hidden branch, and we're gonna gallop across of it. Within the mountain structure, you're gonna find a hidden cave, the Abandoned Cave. We're gonna go through it, and inside of this hidden cave, exactly right here, I'm showcasing right now on the cave itself, you're gonna find a shiny object, and it's gonna be the Serpent Bow. From the smoldering cave Side of Grace, we're gonna march yourself southwards. We can keep following south until we find yourself the very first merchants. This merchant right here. Here we're gonna sell us, of course, some fire arrows. Close by to him is another Side of Grace. We're gonna activate this Side of Grace. We're gonna go across the Lake of Wrath itself, all the way to the opposite side. And there we're gonna find another merchant itself. With another pillar, we're gonna find a map of the zone, and of course another Side of Grace itself. From this point, we're gonna march more northwards towards the hot gates, I call it. Past it, we're gonna find ourselves a hound garden in the form of a shack. We're gonna ignore it, and we're gonna go more southeastwards, and exactly towards this area right here on the map. There we're gonna find Commander O'Neill. Commander O'Neill, we're gonna cheese him by bringing him towards the Wrath itself and let the Wrath kill him. By doing it so, he can give us around 50,000 runes. With this rune, we're gonna increase not only our dexterity and of course our magic capacity. From the same side of Grace from Commander O'Neill, we're gonna march more northwards and keep following the path I'm showcasing you right here. You're gonna find yourself abandoned ruins. The very first stop is gonna be inside of this abandoned ruins catacomb cave. You're gonna find the door, and there you're gonna find yourself the meteor spell. A little bit in the same area itself, more westwards, you're gonna find yourself and shimmery objects and surrounded by broken runes. You're gonna find yourself the perfume armor sets and the perfume's bell weapon. And from the same part, you're gonna go northwards, and you're gonna find yourself more broken runes and guarded with wrath plants, and very deadly and very active. We're gonna try to avoid them or fight them. Doesn't matter. You have the capacity right now. And then we're gonna take, of course, the meteor staff. From this aspect, we're gonna go back to the checkpoint of O'Neill itself, and we're gonna go northwards towards this magical town right here, Caelid. Magical town of Caelid. We're gonna find this branch here. We're gonna gallop on top of this branch. Once we are on top, we're gonna take the stairs up. We're gonna see a lantern. We're gonna activate this lantern. It's gonna deactivate an force shield. By going down, following the path I'm showcasing right now, we are going to see a fog and some bosses inside of it. We are gonna make quick walk over these bosses, and he's gonna give us the Lucent staff. Very potent, a very late game staff. Still on the same area of Caelid itself, we're gonna go back to the same branch. We galloped on top of it. There we're gonna find on top of the rooftop, and on the balcony we're gonna find the last staff as well. Our next stop is going to be for us to go to the High Road Cave itself. The High Road Cave is going to find himself exactly right here. I'm showcasing on the map itself. By passing through the dungeon itself, you are going to get, of course, the Blue Dancer Talisman. It's a very potent talisman. The lower equipment loads we have increase our damage output. It's very powerful, very strong in form of a rich class. After you got yourself the Blue Dancer Talisman, we are going to go now to the Lake of Liurnia. How to reach the Lake of Liurnia? We need to go towards the Stonegate Shack right here on the map itself, on the Limgrave. You're gonna find a small gap on the side of the crossroad under a bridge. You can follow this path all the way to the end. By coming to the end of this mountain path, you're gonna find yourself the entrance of the Lake of Liurnia. In the beginning of the Lake of Liurnia, you're gonna find yourself, of course, an Church of Marika. There we're gonna find yourself another grace here, and the graves beside it, you're gonna find yourself another magic scroll. By passing through all of this, going through down the ravine itself to the entrance of the Lake of Liurnia, you're gonna find yourself a site of grace, another merchants, and a little bit further you're gonna find yourself another map statue. You're gonna take this map statue, you're gonna give us the access towards the southern path of Lake Liurnia. Keep following the path. There's just the stream path. You're gonna find yourself a site of grace, and a little bit later you're gonna find broken runes. Within this broken runes, you're gonna find this another teleportation stone. It's gonna bring us all the way to the Academy of Liurnia itself with another site of grace. We're activating the site of grace. We're gonna turn back, pass through all these knights, take a left, go towards the rooftops. Following these rooftops down, you're gonna find yourself another earth tree seed. Taking this earth tree seed, increase our flask capacity. Keep following the path I'm taking you all the way towards the center part, exactly right here on the map. You're gonna find yourself another map of the area that's gonna bring us the center parts of the Lake of Liurnia, and of course another site of grace. By going exactly to this point of the map itself, you are going to find, of course, another teleportation stone. Is going to bring you all the way to the opposite side of the map itself, the northern part, and exactly in front the northern map of the Lake of Liurnia itself. Like this, now you have the full access of the map itself. By doing so, you're going to gallop yourself more northwards, and you're going to find yourself the entrance towards the fortress of Liurnia itself. We're going to activate the site of grace past this illusionary wall. We are going to double back just a little bit, go down the ravine right here, take the left, so you're gonna see yourself and like an invisible hand on the ground itself. We're gonna be careful. Take this crimson tear. The increase of intelligence is very potent, a form of magic output, which we truly needed to be able to cast a certain form of spells very early on. By doing so, we're gonna go back to the previous site of grace, to the entrance of Rani's fortress. In Rani's fortress, we're gonna find a few different sorcery spells. First of all is going to be, once inside Rani's fortress, we are going to take the first right, take the stairs up, and there we're going to find, of course, another cooking book. And this cooking book is going to allow us to craft freezing pots and freezing buffs and debuffs for our weapons and against our enemies. For this point, we are gonna go back outside. We're gonna find ourselves on the right side on the path towards Rani itself. You're gonna find yourself another beetle exactly right here. By killing this beetle, access will give you access towards the Carrion Spicer spell. By following your path towards the side of grace and past this Altus Ghost, you go towards this elevator right here. You go on top, you're gonna find yourself another side of grace. You activate this side of grace, keep following the path, you're gonna get yourself another earth seed. Keep following the path until you see this giant over there. You take the left here, following the path again. You take another left to avoid the giant that's sitting right there on the stairs. When you're up the stairs here, you take another left. Do not go forward, otherwise you go to the boss. Just keep following your path down, and this path speaks for itself until you reach this point here, on this zone area. You jump across it, and here you're gonna find another spell, the one and only Carrion Grandeur, and a very potent spell. There is one more sorcery spell we need to take within the Lake of Liurnia. By venturing south exactly right here on the map itself, you're gonna find yourself this Evergoal. This Evergoal is gonna find itself a boss, the Carrion Knights. As you can see, we're gonna make a very quick work of it from all the spells we have so far, and it's gonna be absolutely not a problem. By doing so, it's gonna give us a very potent weapons, a very potent spell in the end. Our next stop within the Lake of Liurnia, you need to go towards this Earth Tree avatar. You can find himself exactly right here on the map itself. What I'm showcasing is a northern part of the Lake of Liurnia. By defeating him, while doing so with all the spells we have right now, it's going to be super easy for you. And he's going to give you another Crimson Tear, a very potent Crimson Tear that increase your magic damage output the moment you absorb it. A very potent one you must have if you are a spellcaster or a mage in any form within the Elden Ring itself. Now we have all the spells and the weapons that we need. Now we need to go to level up our weapons. The first stop is going to be in the Liurnia Crystal Tunnel, exactly right here on the map itself. By passing through the tunnel, you're going to find yourself a boss, the Crystal Boss. Defeating him, he's going to give you a bell ring. From this bell ring, we're going to save it for this point. We're going to travel first of all back to the Carrion Manor, to the entrance points. Follow the path I'm taking right here. Go past the ledge right here to the opposite side of the map. Keep following the path I'm taking you. You go all the way towards this Church of Marika. Here you're gonna find another grace tier to increase our flask capacity. Follow your path even more northwards and across the Trebuchet you're gonna find in this area. Keep yourself to the mountain path on the right side so you avoid the campsite. And there you're gonna find, of course, the entrance to the Dictus elevator. Because we already have the Dictus elevator right now, we can activate the Dictus elevator. It's gonna bring us towards a new zone. Once you're over to Altus Plateau from Dictus Tunnel, you take your northern side to the Lexus Ruins. You keep following the path where I'm taking you right now. Across it, you're gonna find us on another side of grace. With another earth tree for you to take. We're gonna find a lot of earth tree right now, seeds to really increase your flask capacity. While doing it so, we are gonna cross then eastwards and cross the plain. And the caravan there, you're gonna find two medallions, the shield medallions and a weapon. Once you're across it, you're gonna find another earth tree exactly right here, and the northern part on the same point. Alright, right now we're gonna find another map of the area to have a more accessible viewpoints where we are right now on the map of the Altus Plateau. Just go more southwards towards the grand entrance of the Altus Plateau. You're gonna see like a giant stair going upwards towards the castle of the inner city of the Altus Plateau itself. Majestically, just go all the way upwards and towards it, past the gates, past the 3 sentinels you're gonna find at the end of this staircase, an amazing staircase. Once we are here past the 3 sentinels, we are going to see another earth tree with a quite of abundance of earth seeds around it, really increase our flask capacity, and again a map of the area itself. Once we have all of that, we're just gonna continue our path. Once we have all of that, the next point is going to be exactly right here on the map. That's where we're going to find a secondary bearing, so we can increase our potency of our weapons. Just following the path I'm taking right now, we're going to need to go down the ravine itself. It's super easy to find. Now once you did that, you go back to the first dragon we killed in 4th Wrath that we left alive. We kill him again by using golden pickle. We're gonna get 100,000 runes. These runes we are going to use then to level up our weapons to all the way to level 12. And we're gonna use our bell rings to give it towards the merchants in the round table hall. And thanks to this, we have the capacity to buy as much smithing stones and summer smithing stones as we want to. If you want to know how to get yourself more golden pickle, go yourself to exactly right here in this cave right now in Limgrave and Agnil Lake itself. There you're gonna find Patches yourself, and by defeating Patches to all the way half of his health, he's gonna surrender himself. He's gonna open his merchants, and there he's gonna find a cooking book. You're gonna find yourself into buy, where you're going to need to get the golden pickle itself if you want to craft it. After you manage to level yourself up, your weapons, your gears, and you have yourself your spells and left and right, there's a few honorable mentions that we need to do in form of leveling up left and right. There's a few bosses in the overland gameplay that give us an abundance of runes are super easy. One of them is the Flying Dragon Grill. You're gonna find yourself very close to 4th Wrath and the mountain pass that we passed by in the very first farming method in the beginning of our Let's Play guide. The second one is the Purity Avatar. It's a little bit down the road, past the bridge itself where the Dragon Grill is. By using our spells and long distance and our bows, this fight becomes extremely easy. I'm using the fire arrows in this fight to have a little bit of dots, and thanks to our serpent bow, we are as well doing a form of a dot over time. This fight becomes super easy, and even though we are in mid-tier form of a level in the gameplay itself. By doing so, he gives us 96,000 runes, and we can use that to increase our intelligence, our figure, and just name it however we want. Another boss that we can do and we must do very early on, you can find yourself in the Gale Tunnel, and exactly right here on the map on the Caelid itself, from the smoldering wall grace points. Is the Magma Worm. By killing the Magma Worm itself, he's going to give us the Moonveil Katana. By doing so, it can give us another way of gameplay, dual wielding, more diversity in our breath and how we combat or engage within the Elden Ring itself. By having all these different form of abilities that we have left and right, this boss is super easy and super much fun. Now last but not least, of course, Margaret the Fell Omen. This is the last boss, of course, and showcased the potency of a way of playing with the witch class very early on into the game itself. How you can make it extremely potent without you being afraid of how dangerous it is playing with the witch class itself. And hopefully you guys did enjoy this content, and if you did, do not hesitate for 1 lick of a second to smash that like button, comment down below, and subscribe yourself to the channel. It will be tremendously helpful and towards me, because making this content, making all of this cost a lot of time left and right, and by smashing the like button, it really showcased that my craft, my channel is appreciated, and the work that I do, not only for the community and of course for the people within my channel, or just anybody in general who passing by, is appreciated left and right. Also, thank you very much for chilling with me and for listening with me all the way to the end, of course. Hopefully I can see every single one of you, of course, in my next guide, playthrough, let's play, walkthrough that I do within the channel itself, or tip and tricks, or even doing my live streams, what I do in my channel itself. You will find my live stream, of course, on my Twitch page, linked on the descriptions down below, equal to my Instagram page, my Twitter page, my Discord page, just name it. You can always find it in descriptions written down below. And of course, the same thing, you're also gonna find a very quick link within my channel itself, where you can get access towards all these channels super easy. I do stream on a regular basis, so I will say come and say hello, come and chill with me, and come and ask me whatever you want on Discord or on the comments down below. But most importantly, let me think what you think so far of this video, the content of it, and of course every single thing that you saw so far. We appreciate it, yes and no. And of course I'll say enjoy your playthrough of the Elden Ring, and hopefully this was helpful and you can survive a little bit more better with the Elden Ring itself, and you can start struggling anymore, not throwing your controller towards the TV itself. Also sit back, relax, and now you can enjoy the Elden Ring. See you guys next time. I'm your host, your podcast itself, so thank you very much for chilling with me. As always, one love with me, one God, one love. Peace.